All right, guys. So we're here with our client Kingsley, our internal ad team, Juicer and Pranam. Kingsley, man, I really just want to get into it here. If you want to start by breaking down, your offer and the ecosystem that you're trying to build.
Yeah, man. So my name is Kingsley Fetty. I'm actually a CPA out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I work specifically with dentists, dental associates, and dental practice owners. So my offer is essentially helping dental practice owners pay less in tax. For the most part, our offer comes with really 3 or 4 things. The first thing being tax strategy, which is us pretty much meeting every single quarter to go through exactly what their taxes look like and see how we can implement strategies to go ahead and reduce that bill. The second thing being that we're filing their taxes as well each year. Third thing being that we're doing the bookkeeping, we're keeping it up to date. And then the fourth thing being what we call CFO, which we're essentially talking about the numbers with them throughout the year, seeing how they can make more money in their practice. So we're having those conversations. So that's pretty much our offer stack right now.
Nice. I know when we met you, Kingsley, you were in an interesting spot. Like you were running ads and you were really looking to scale. Talk to me about what that was like in that time period.
Yeah, so I actually, it was funny, before I met you all, I had actually been kind of dabbling in ads myself for a year. I had got the Meta ads account, watched as many YouTubers as I could, to be honest. I figured out at least how to get ads running, but I didn't have much success. I didn't really know how to optimize it. I didn't really know exactly what the numbers meant. So when I kind of pulled you all in, I think the first thing that we ended up doing wasn't even really dive into ads. It was really just talk about the offer, talk about how to pretty much present, it over an ad space, right? Like at the end of the day, and this is what I realized too, selling to a referral or selling to a person that already knows you is completely 360 or 180 different than selling to somebody that's never met you over ads. So you all just kind of fine tuning the offer, making sure that like as I'm pitching it, it makes sense to an cold audience. And then I really started seeing like the ad flow. The lead flow from the ads really pick up. And it was kind of overnight, man. It was overnight. It was amazing.
I appreciate that. Yeah. So like that's our whole philosophy when you guys come on board. It's really to set the foundation and get super clear. Did you feel like after that, those initial couple calls where we got clear on your foundation, that you actually had something in stone that we could scale upon?
Yeah. No, yes, because I feel like with my offer before, it just wasn't really dialed in. And quite honestly, like we would, especially when I was running ads myself, we would get some clicks, but I feel like the offer wasn't presented in a way that really made sense to kind of that product market fit, right? Like I had the right market, I had a niche, but I didn't have the right fit for that market. It'd be different if I was selling to people in real estate, or if I was selling to people who might be influencers or something like that. But since I was selling to dentists, they had a certain appetite for certain things. And it just, working with y'all really helped me understand exactly how to make that product market fit, which really, ended up helping us get a lot of different leads.
Awesome. Now, typically when we record videos like this, it's only me and Darius. We brought Juicer and Pranam on for help because, they're our internal ad guys and, we did a lot of work together. But I'm going to ask this question anyway. When it comes to me and Darius, as well as Juicer and Pranam, what would you say, how do you say it? Skill set wise, how would you categorize us? Like where are our strong suits and stuff like that? As a genuine question.
Yeah. Genuinely, I call Juicer the juice guy, and I know Pranam is obviously, making sure we get dialed in as well. But yeah, man, it's something about, him getting into the ads and really, I think one of the most impressive things I've saw, and I've worked with, I don't want to say a lot of people on the marketing side, but I've talked to a lot of people on the marketing side, just in general, being a business owner. But one of the more impressive things that I saw specifically out of him was him turn off certain ads, and oftentimes I might, and I joke with him, dang, I recorded all these ads. And he's like, no, we're going to go with the 2 that actually work. And I'm like, well, I just recorded 20. He's like, no, we're going to go with the 2. And so I'm having that kind of foresight to just understand, like, at the end of the day, go with the winners and actually like not just give you philosophy, but actually push the buttons to make sure that we're pushing all the money towards things that win. I thought that was really impressive, you know, because those were kind of things that in the past I would have to maybe catch or try to ask a question like, hey, like what's working? So to kind of have that be brought to me was kind of reassuring, like, okay, there's actually somebody that's looking at things and thinking, right? And thinking like how do we kind of optimize this? Because sometimes, you know, when you're new to it, kind of like I am, and spending money online, you don't really know what ROI is going to be, right? So when you have somebody that you know is going to care about your bottom line, it really does help. And then, you know, obviously work with you know, you pretty much you two on the offer side and kind of getting the systems internally and just making sure that we have the right people on board, whether that was setters, whether that was people that could really just help kind of build the business up. I thought that was pretty unique too, because you know, I see a lot of people out here, a lot of agencies, and they only focus on one or the other. They only run ads, or they only help you build, you know, sales funnel. So I thought it was unique that you all really cared about SOPs. You all wanted to put SOPs in place so that we can standardize it a little bit. And I felt like you brought those systems, which I'm a big believer, and I preach that to my team all the time. Like, if we don't document the SOPs, we don't have a business. So yeah, I mean, genuinely, I thought those were kind of the two biggest areas that, you know, I really was impressed with.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, genuinely.
Thank you.
So the first question I asked you was like the point you were at when we first met. I guess break down kind of where you're at in your business now, like what's next for you, and how are you feeling in business currently?
Yeah, great question. So, man, yeah, it's been a crazy kind of 6 months. We started, we had no clients. Essentially, we were starting from ground zero. Me and my wife left our full-time jobs pretty much back in December to really build our own thing. Right now, I don't even know the client number. I think we're on our 20th for client, 20th client, which is at this point going to put us over the $300,000 mark every single year. So we went from $0 to $300,000 in any recurring revenue in 6 months, which I think is amazing at the end of the day, right? Like, our goal was just to replace both of our 9-to-5s. And we're just grateful to be able to do that in such a short period of time.
Yeah. Awesome. I love to hear that. Okay, so last question as far as it goes on our end, and then Juicer and Pranam, you guys can ask any questions you'd like as well. But what would you say to anybody who's a prospect that's, I guess, on the fence about, you know, coming on board and working with us?
Yeah, that's a great question. And my honest answer is this: you know, when I met you guys, what's funny was it was a cold call. Hey, like, this is what I do. This is a cold call, and just acknowledging that up front, which was pretty crazy. But I was actually talking to another marketing agency, and they're actually CPA specific. And I think I said this over the time, but the reason I really kind of chose you guys is I really saw y'all were, you know, in all respects, scrappy. And what I mean by scrappy is people who don't just set it and forget it. You know, sometimes you go with these big name marketing agencies and you just become a number. You really just get kind of tossed into the cogwheel. I can tell that you all were really wanting to earn business and really be scrappy enough to, you know, even if you didn't have all the answers, go figure out the answer. Which, you know, I really thought was unique. You know, it's one of those things, and I don't know. I'm the type of guy, if a marketing agency kind of comes to me, I want to kind of see that marketing in place. You know what I mean? Like, if you say you can do something, if you say you know how to get leads cold, like, I want to know that you're able to do it in your business. You know what I mean? I don't want to, you know, it's kind of like, I don't know, taking health advice from somebody who you wouldn't want to look like, right? So yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. Like, when you all kind of reached out and kind of said, you know, at the end of the day, like, we're just trying to help your business grow. And even your offer, you know, I don't know if the offer is the same now, but saying, hey, like, you know, we're going to tie our result and our payout based off of your result. And I thought that was a pretty nice, definitely a pretty nice ad.
Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it, Kingsley.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For sure, man.